Alright, so something big is happening in the zenlesszonezero community right now, and everyone's talking about one thing: the possibility that real co-op gameplay might finally be on the horizon. For months, players have joked about it, wished for it, and doubted it would ever come. But after a recent wave of community discussions, screenshots, and speculation, people genuinely believe the game could be gearing up for its first true cooperative experience. And the reactions are absolutely wild. So in this video, I want to break down what players are saying, what kind of mode they think is coming, how it might work based on the game's existing systems, and why this could completely change the way we experience zenlesszonezero going forward. If you want to save up to 23% on your zenlesszonezero top-ups, check out lootbar.gg. Right now, Lootbar has a 2.3 limited 6,480 polychrome pack for only $76, while it's $100 in-game. So on Lootbar, you're saving $24. I just entered my UID, picked my server, no password needed. And just like that, the monochromes appeared on my account. And look, I still got the first-time double bonus, same as with the in-game top-up. Lootbar has over 20,000 positive reviews on Trustpilot and more than 90,000 positive user reviews across Hoyoverse games. I've been using it for over a year now, even for my giveaways, so I can personally recommend it. New users also get an extra 10% off coupon, so click the link in the description and start saving today. Let's start with where all the excitement is coming from. Over the last few days, players across Reddit and Discord started noticing patterns that point toward a structured multiplayer feature being tested or hinted at. They began connecting the dots: matchmaking menus, team-based terminology, and interface elements that suggest a system designed for group play. None of this is confirmed by Hoyoverse, but the community has run with the idea and turned it into a massive discussion about what co-op could look like if it became real. And honestly, it makes sense that people are excited. Zenlesszonezero has one of the most fluid combat systems Hoyoverse has ever built: fast, reactive, combo-driven. The thought of teaming up with friends to take down bosses, coordinate skills, and time dodges together feels like a natural next step. Players have been saying things like, "Imagine chaining ultimates for perfect resistance penetration bursts," or "Finally, my support agent might actually have a purpose beyond swapping out for buffs." There's a genuine sense that co-op could make every agent's kit feel more alive, especially for those who specialize in defense manipulation or crowd control rather than raw damage output. But what's interesting is that the community isn't just celebrating, they're analyzing the possibilities in detail. Many believe that if Zenless ever adds multiplayer, it won't just be casual co-op like we've seen in other Hoyoverse titles. They expect it to be structured and role-oriented, with different players taking on specific functions like damage dealer, support, breaker, or daze controller. The idea is that the system would encourage coordination rather than letting everyone just play solo within the same arena. And that would be a huge shift from how the game works now, where each player usually rotates through a trio of agents. There's also been a lot of buzz recently about certain agents possibly receiving new or reworked mechanics specifically tied to co-op gameplay. In community discussions, players pointed out names like Astra Yao, Lucia, and Lighter being mentioned as examples. Nobody really knows what that means yet, but it's sparked tons of speculation. Some think these agents might gain unique team-oriented buffs or new interactions that make them shine more when working alongside others, which would fit perfectly with the idea of role-based co-op. If that turns out to be true, it could mark the first real step toward giving every agent a purpose in multiplayer beyond just raw damage output, and that's something players have been asking for since launch. People are already imagining how that could play out. Maybe you only control one agent per person. Maybe there's matchmaking that assigns players different roles to fill, like a small strike team. Maybe each mission type would demand a different setup, one focused on speed, another on crowd control, another on survival. You can tell how much thought the community's putting into it because they're comparing potential structures to games like Warframe, Destiny, or even old Honkai Impact 3rd co-op raids, where teams had to coordinate attacks and timing perfectly. Of course, not everyone is purely optimistic. Some longtime players are worried about the classic co-op pitfalls, toxic lobbies, forced participation, or the dreaded support role nobody wants. One Reddit comment summed it up perfectly. Please, don't lock polychrome rewards behind co-op. I love the idea, but I want to choose when I play with others. Others pointed out how Genshin Impact's co-op can sometimes feel limited, with only one player able to trigger certain mechanics. They hope Zenlesszonezero approach will be smoother and more integrated with the combat flow that already makes the game so unique. Still, for most fans, the excitement outweighs the skepticism. The top comments are pure joy. Things like, "We're so back," and ZZZ is called Zenless, but the devs never achieve Zen. Others are already preparing to show off their favorite agents in multiplayer, joking about trolling with underleveled builds or going AFK mid-battle. There's this mix of hype, humor, and shared disbelief that feels like the early days of a massive new feature reveal, even if, for now, it's all just community speculation. What really stands out in these discussions is how players are analyzing the design implications. If Zenlesszonezero were to introduce cooperative missions, it could bring a wave of new possibilities. Think about challenges, where each player contributes to shared objectives, or time-limited encounters that rely on synchronization instead of just raw stats. Some players even imagine global progress mechanics, where the entire server contributes toward unlocking higher-risk missions, a feature that could encourage community participation beyond individual grinding. Another idea that's popped up is temporary or session-based builds. Players theorize that if co-op becomes a thing, it might include some kind of card or emblem system that gives temporary buffs for the duration of a mission. That would keep things balanced and dynamic. You'd go in, pick enhancements that complement your teammates' abilities, and adapt as you go. It's an exciting concept because it gives replayability without breaking the existing gear economy. At the same time, some experienced fans have reminded everyone that even if multiplayer is truly being explored, it might not appear immediately. It could take multiple updates to refine, maybe even toward a later version. People are patient about it, though. The general sentiment is, take your time, just make it good. The community clearly understands how complex it is to implement online functionality in a game that depends on precise timing, hit detection, and animation syncing. Still, the potential is enormous. If Zenlesszonezero manages to combine its fast-paced combat with true cooperative play, it could set a new standard for Hoyoverse games. Imagine linking ultimates with your friends to stagger an enemy together, or rotating through coordinated break phases for massive burst damage bonuses. That level of teamwork could add layers of strategy the single-player mode doesn't currently need, and it would give new life to agents that don't always shine solo. It's also worth noting that this isn't happening in a vacuum. Across Hoyoverse's catalog, you can feel a slow but deliberate evolution. Genshin Impact set the tone for exploration and world-building, Honkai. Star Rail doubled down on narrative and turn-based synergy, and Zenlesszonezero seems poised to explore the social and collaborative side of their combat formula. That's why so many players are calling 2.5 peak ZZZ. It feels like the game is reaching a point where its systems are mature enough to support something big. At the end of the day, whether co-op arrives soon or later, the fact that the entire community is buzzing about it shows just how much people care about this game's direction. They're not just reacting, they're envisioning the future, designing possible modes in their heads, and debating how different agents would perform in real-time team scenarios. It's that kind of passionate speculation that keeps a live service title alive between updates. So yeah, if you've been scrolling through Reddit lately and wondering why everyone's screaming co-op is real in all caps, now you know. It's not confirmed, it's not official, but it's definitely alive in the community's imagination. And honestly, whether or not it comes in the next update, this level of excitement is already a win for zenlesszonezero. It means people see enough potential in the combat system to imagine it scaling into something even greater. And that's a very good sign for the game's long-term future. If you enjoyed this kind of deep dive discussion, where we analyze not just what's happening, but how players feel about it, make sure to subscribe. I'll be keeping an eye on every new development, every test, and every conversation the community sparks around zenlesszonezero's evolving gameplay. Because if this is where things are heading, we might just be watching the next big step in Hoyoverse's multiplayer evolution. Save up to 23% on the current banners at lootbar.gg. Just enter your UID and server. The link is in the description.